There we go. All right, so we're going to start with our feet about hip width distance apart and going up onto our toes and coming back down for 30 seconds. So we just have our regular format for the warm-up planned, and then we're going to mix up the timing in our actual workout blocks, and we'll see how it goes. And now let's switch. Let's pull those toes up off the floor and then down. So remember, as you pull those toes up, try not to throw those hips back. Try and keep them underneath so that you're using the muscles along the front of the legs to pull the toes up. Good. Got 10 seconds left of this one. And then we're mixing it up. We're not even going to do the alternating one today. We're going to switch it up a bit. So we're actually going to step our feet out wide, angle the toes out, and press up onto the toes. So usually we do either the hip width distance or the wide apart heel and toe raises, but today we're doing both. Nice strong core. And we have just over 5 seconds left until we switch to our toes coming up. Here we go, pulling the toes up off the floor now. Remember, as you pull those toes up, we're not throwing the hips back. We're trying to keep the hips underneath us, and we're squeezing the muscles all the way up those inner legs. So through the insides of the shins, you'll even feel it up through the inside of your thighs. We're almost there, 5 seconds to go. Feet can come underneath us, getting into our regular march. So this is your resting exercise. You can go as fast or as slow, as hard or as easy as you would like. But if you do need to catch your breath, the regular march is the time to do it. It's also a good time to grab water throughout class. We're going to get into our high knee march here now. So pulling the knee up towards the chest. Nice strong core, pressing down through the standing leg. Now if you want to bring in that reach across with the wrist or elbow, you can. Pull the belly button into the spine. Still try and press down through that standing leg. If you want to think of your breathing, you're going to exhale as that knee comes up. Inhale as the leg goes back down. Almost there. And back to that regular march. Just need to keep marching there. Just a regular march still. We're going to get into a wide high knee here. So nice strong core. Knees come up wide to the side. You want to bring the arms in, reaching up and over. Exhale as that knee comes up. Inhale as you bring it down. Good, you're a little over halfway through this movement. Almost there. Back to our regular march. I'm sure many of you have been doing some different forms of exercise than you're used to with the cleanup after the storm. All right, in 5 seconds, we're gonna get into those hamstrings. So we're gonna go heels, curling up towards the behind. Nice strong core, so we're not arching the back. And let's squeeze those elbows alongside the rib cage. Remember, we want those knees to stay pointing down rather than bringing them up in front, so that we're getting a little bit of a lengthening through the front of our hips and thighs at the same time that we're contracting the hamstring muscles. And back to your regular march. Good, we're coming up to halfway through this regular march. We get into some lateral movements here next. There's a couple options for you. So we're gonna be stepping to the side, tapping behind. So you can stay here, or you can sink down a little bit into a bit of a curtsy lunge. Arms can come up and over. So think of a full circle, up and over. Again, you can stay tall, just step, tap behind, or you can sink down a little bit if your knees will allow. We're almost through this one. And back to our regular march. Remember, this is your exercise class, so you can go at whatever intensity you're comfortable with. You can move faster, you can move slower, you can make the moves bigger, you can make the moves smaller. It's up to you. So one of the things I like about the timed intervals is it really allows for adjustment in levels of difficulty. Feet are gonna come hip width distance apart here now. We're gonna start with just a half squat. So just halfway down, weight presses into the heels, hips sink down and back. So just a half squat here, about another 5 seconds. And then we're gonna start taking it a little bit deeper. So if your knees are not enjoying the squats today, just stay where you're at. Don't sink it any further. But if you're feeling not too bad, you can sink down into that full squat, crossing into the heels. Inhale on the way down, exhale as you press it up. Almost there. And back to that regular march. We're almost through this warm up. Have our hand reaching towards opposite heel in front combination. Coming up next, in just over 5 seconds, we'll get started. Here we go. We're gonna touch opposite heel in front, or shin, or knee. Whatever works for your body. And again, go at the speed that's comfortable for you. So you can go a little faster, or slow it down. Take your time. And we're gonna switch it up in about 5 seconds. So instead of touching in front now, we're gonna reach opposite heel behind, or just reaching towards the heel. What you don't wanna do is be trying to arch that back to get to the heel. Use the hamstrings to squeeze the heel up. So abs stay strong along the front to help support your spine. You want to think of your breathing. Exhale as you squeeze the heel up. Inhale as it comes back down. All right, now we're alternating. Front, front, back, back. Front, front, back, back. And going at your own speed. If you get it mixed up, just reset. So it's really easy to forget where you're at. Almost done. The warm up, that is. And back to a regular march. So that's our warm up block done with. For the rest of the blocks, I said this at the very, very start, but if you tuned in a little bit later, each block has 4 exercises. The first exercise we're doing for a full minute. The second exercise for 45 seconds. The third one for 30 seconds. The last one is our burner, where we only go 15 seconds, but you can just go a little bit harder. It's such a short burst, and you get a bit of a rest afterwards. And there's 4 of those blocks with different exercises. So the first one here, we call these around the world balance lunges or big steps. So you're gonna start with your right foot, and it's gonna be a big step or lunge forward. Try and balance in the center. Big step or lunge to the side. Balance, behind, balance. Then your left leg takes over to complete around the world. So it's going to go back. Balance, side, balance, front, balance. Then right takes over. You have each position with the right, and then the left takes over and finishes. Really try and stick it in the center. So we'll go through that one for 60 seconds, and then your rest will be me demonstrating the next one. All right, here we go. So big step or lunge, balance center. Big step or lunge to the side, balance center. Big step or lunge back, balance, and then switching legs takes over. Try and get that brief pause in the center where you're working on that balance. Go your own pace, your own level. So if you're just doing a big step and it's feeling easy, maybe make that step a little bit bigger. The farther you shift your weight, the more challenging it is for your balance. Nice strong core that's going to help control that center of gravity. We have 10 seconds left. Almost there. And back to the center. You can march, you can take a rest. So our next exercise will be 45 seconds is our step out jumping jack. Different levels for that. So you can just step out together. You can stay here. Or if you'd like to add a bit of a sink, evenly between both legs, you can. Or you can add a little bit of a bounce. If you'd like a little bit more cardio, we're gonna go 45 seconds. Here we go. Step out, alternating sides. So you can stay nice and tall. You could sink down, and if you do, make sure your weight is even between the legs. Or add in that bounce. 30 seconds to go. I'm just kind of alternating between the versions. You stick with the version that works for you. If you're sinking down, make sure the weight presses into the heels. 5 seconds to go. And back into the center. You can march, you can take a rest. So the 30-second exercise coming up is our squat with leg lift. So feet will be about hip-width distance apart, maybe wider. We'll sink down into our squat, come up, lift one leg, sink, up, other leg. For your squat, you can do a quarter squat. You could do a half squat, full squat, or if squats are not working for your knees today, you can just go one leg lift to the other. Again, this is your class. Make it work for you. It's only 30 seconds this time. We're going to start in 5 seconds. All right, here we go. Sink, lift one leg, and then the other. So in that squat, remember, weight goes into the heels. Hips go down and back, like you're trying to sit into a chair that you can't quite reach. Or remember, you can make that squat smaller, or take the squat out altogether. Leg lift to leg lift. We're almost there. And you can come under us, you can march, you can take a rest, and in 20 seconds, we're gonna do our 15-second burner. So that is 15 seconds of a hard march, or you can even run in place if you would like. 10 seconds until we start it. All right, here we go. 15 seconds, hard march, running. But you want this to be a nice, hard finishing exercise. Choose your level, 5 seconds to go. And you get a rest. You can grab some water. We're between blocks. We're going to be moving into a weight block next. I'm going to demonstrate the exercises while you rest, so that if you have a choice of weight, you can choose accordingly. So the first one will be our 60-second exercise. We're gonna have our feet wider than hip width distance apart, toes angled out. Weights are in front, shoulders down and back. Sinking into that squat, coming up, upright row. So your options here, if squats are not a thing for you today, you can do a teeny squat with the upright row, or just the upright row if you absolutely are not in a place for squats today. Then you get a bit of a rest. And our next one is a step out to press out. So we're gonna have our weights in front, we're gonna step out, press, step out and press. Nice strong core. This is really gonna burn out those shoulders because those weights are up the entire time. If that does bother your shoulders, drop the weight, in which case you're gonna step out and press out without the weights in your hands. And if you don't have the weights, to make it a little bit harder, you can sink down through those knees. From there, we're going into a hip extension with bicep curl. So we're gonna hinge forward a little bit from the hips. We're gonna have our palms forward, extend one leg, curl, extend the other leg, curl. So notice I'm not arching my back. So we're trying to do it together. One leg, curl, the other leg, curl. So the extension comes from the back of my hips. And then our burner for 15 seconds, weights up on the shoulders, sinking down, coming up and press. Sink, press for 15 seconds. All right, so grab those weights. We're gonna start with that sumo squat and upright row. Get set, feet wider than hip width distance apart, toes angled out, body tall, weights in front. Here we go. Sink, row. So exhale as you come up, inhale on the way down. So with this version of a squat, we're staying a little bit more upright. Shoulders stay nice and tall and back as we row. You're lifting up through the arches of your feet. That's going to help keep those knees in alignment. You're halfway. Shoulders stay down even as you row up. Keep breathing. So exhale as you contract and come up. Inhale on the way down. Nice tall spine. Shoulders stay back. Almost there. Good, and weights can come down. 30 seconds until we start our step out to press out. So remember, if this bothers your shoulders, drop the weights, do the movement without the weights. Those shoulders are going to get tired with this one because we're keeping the arms up the whole time. One thing to make sure of is those shoulders stay back and core stays strong. We don't want to round forward as we press out. Here we go, arms up, step out to press out. Alternating sides. Go your own pace. Shoulders stay back. So make sure there's no rounding. Nice and tall. Squeeze the shoulder blades as you pull it back. Got heavy weights for this one. If you need a break for a second, weights can come down. Got 15 seconds to go. Almost there. 5 seconds. Exhale as you press out. Inhale as you row it back. Weights can come down. Whew. Okay. Getting ready for our bicep curl with hip extension. So again, our spine is staying straight. So we have a bit of a hinge forward in those hips, just a little one. And then we're gonna have palms forward, extend one leg, curl, extend the other leg, curl. Belly button into spine. You have 4 seconds. So we start. Here we go. Extend, curl, extend, curl. So we curl with both feet underneath us. Now, you can just do a little bit of an extension. If you're feeling any kind of strain in that back, make it smaller. Make sure your core is staying strong, so belly button pulls in towards the spine. Shoulders stay down and back. And weights can come down. And we got 25 seconds until we do our final round of this block, which is our 15-second burner, where, again, you're not starting yet. I'm just demonstrating. Feet are hip-width distance. Sink, press, and down. You got 5 seconds, and you only have 15 seconds of this one. Here we go. Sink, up, press. So spine stays straight. Weight sinks into the heels. Hips go down and back. You're almost there. And weights can come down. We can put them aside. You have a bit of a longer rest here. Good time to grab water. So we're going into a cardio focus block. So we're bringing the combat beam into this one. While you're resting, I'll just demonstrate what we have coming up so you know what to expect. So first one, move you're very familiar with. 60 seconds, we're gonna have fists up, we're gonna punch, punch, knee, knee, kick, kick. Then we're going into a duck under and punch across. So we wanna squeeze those waist muscles. Feet are hip width distance, a little bit wider even. We're gonna duck under, punch across, duck under, punch across. Now, if that rotation hurts your spine, you can just punch straight ahead instead. Then from there, we're gonna go into a punch, punch, knee, knee, punch, punch, knee, knee. And I want you to think of squeezing those abs as you pull the knees up. So it's almost like a crunch motion. And then our burner is our punch out. 15 seconds, nice and hard and quick, just to burn out the energy from that block. Here we go, let's get started with that 60-second punch, punch, knee, knee, kick, kick. So squeeze those abs as you bring each knee up, and then core stays strong as you press out in front with those legs to kick. Now remember, you can do it at your own level. If you want to bring those knees lower, kick out lower, that's fine. Sometimes it's all you can do just to log on and do a class. You're not feeling like really pushing yourself hard, but just that getting moving helps. Good, we're almost there. 5 seconds to go. And you can march it out. You can take a little rest. We're gonna start in 25 seconds with the next one, which is our duck under, punch across for 45 seconds. So you can adjust the difficulty with that punch across by how far you're sinking down. So you can just do a punch across by shifting your weight, or you can sink down into that squat and punch across, make it more challenging. Here we go. Feet hip width distance, a little bit wider, fist in front, punch across. Now if you're sinking down, let's sink our weight into our heel. Bring those hips down and back. Or staying tall, shifting from one side to the other. If the rotation doesn't work for your back, remember you can just punch out in front with or without that sink. Lots of options for you. Every time you bring those hands back in from that punch, let's pull those shoulders back. I know as boxers, they want to round forward a little bit to protect themselves, but we want to think of our posture here. And you can bring it back to a march. You can take a little rest. We're gonna start our 30-second exercise in 20 seconds. So it will be our punch, punch, knee, knee. Remember, you got your levels. You can keep it slow, controlled with only a little bit of a knee. You can really kind of add some pep into it. It's up to you. Here we go. Let's punch up, knee, knee. Punch, punch, knee, knee. So whatever level works for you.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Now I just pop between the different versions. Almost there. Good job. Back to just a regular march or taking a little rest. We just have that 15-second burner stuck in this block. And that's just our punch out in front. So we have 15 seconds until we start that. Five seconds until we get going. Remember, this is just a short little one. Here we go. Fist in front, just punching out, 15 seconds. So you're breathing. And again, you can slow it down if you need. You can punch faster. You can add in a little bit of a bounce there. Almost there. And then arms can come down. A little bit of a rest between blocks here. We have our core strengthening block coming up next. Again, while you're resting, I'm just gonna demonstrate. So we're gonna have our chairs out. Whole block sitting down. So the first minute is just our straight forward and back sit up. So you're gonna be, again, I'm just demonstrating, you still can rest. Be at the front of your chair, belly button into spine, arms across. If your shoulders are tired, you can always drop them down. Tuck the chin ever so slightly, leaning back, squeezing up. Now again, if you have some issues with your back, you can move back so that you're not moving as far. So that's a minute. The 45-second one, we're adding in a rotation to this sit-up. So we're leaning back, squeezing up, bringing elbow to opposite knee. So how far forward or back you are in your chair will determine the difficulty. That's your 45 seconds. Your 30-second one is your toe tap or knee raise. So you're forward in your chair, leaning back. You're either gonna bring one knee and the other up, or if your core is a little stronger, knees are up, tapping one and then the other down. Again, if your back needs a little bit of support, scooch back a bit, lightly rest your back against the backrest, and then do the movement. Now it's for 30 seconds, then our 15-second burner is our V hold. If you need a little bit of support, those toes can lightly touch the floor. If your back needs support, lightly rest it against the backrest. We have 10 seconds until we get started with our 60 seconds of sit-ups. A lot of things to explain in a short period of time. All right, here we go. Arms crossing over and leaning back, squeezing up. So inhale on the way back, exhale as you squeeze it up. Shoulders stay down away from the ears. You're shrugging them up. It's going to bring tension into the neck. We want to avoid that. Inhale as you lean it back. Exhale on the way up. Belly button pulls to the spine, pelvis under. Think of rib cage and pubic bone squeezing together at the front. Good job. Keep breathing, keep those shoulders down. Make sure you're not letting that head fall back. So tuck that chin ever so slightly. You have 10 seconds to go. Shoulders stay down. Keep squeezing that belly button in. Make sure we get the abs. And then arms can come down. You get a 30-second rest before we add in our rotation. So elbow comes to opposite knee. You want to think of opposite rib cage and hip bone squeezing towards each other when you rotate. Again, if you have some issues with your back and that rotation is a problem, you stick with that straight forward and back. All right, 5 seconds. I'm trying to face you for this one. Here we go, 45 seconds of the rotational sit up here. Shoulders stay down away from the ears. You're still breathing. We're going to inhale on the way back. Exhale as you squeeze it up. Remember, you can adjust your speed. So if you're starting to feel fatigued, slow it down. So you're doing fewer repetitions. Or if you're starting to feel some strain, move back in your chair so that you're not moving as far and you have a little bit of support from that backrest. There's always options. Good, and we can sit up. You have 25 seconds until we get into our toe tap or knee raise. So with this one especially, it's important that we're not getting an arch in the back. So I want you to scoop that pelvis under. If your knees are up and you start to get that arch, I want you to drop them down so those toes are on the floor and then retuck that pelvis. Here we go, 30 seconds, either lifting the knee or holding the knees up and tapping the toe. But remember, this one is very controlled and isolated. We're really getting those lower abdominals here. If you're feeling any strain or pain in the low back, just drop those legs down. Do the easier version or take a rest. Pulling the belly button in, scooping the pelvis under, and toes can come down. We have 25 more seconds until we do our 15-second hold on this one. We're almost there. So again, as we hold that V, make sure that back doesn't arch. So scooping that pelvis under. You have the option of the knees up, knees down, or knees down with a little bit of support from the backrest. 15 seconds, here we go, get into your position. Belly button pulls in, keep breathing. Shoulders are down, scooping that pelvis under. You need a little bit of support from your toes on the floor, that's absolutely fine. And feet can come down. Well done, that's the end of that block. I'm gonna grab a sip of water. We have a couple minutes to throw in a couple extra exercises here. So, let's do some wall push-ups or countertop or the back of your couch. So, if you have a wall nearby, you're gonna have your feet out from the wall, hands on the wall about in front of your shoulders. Core is engaged, and you're gonna lower yourself and press away. Let me see if you can see better over here. Maybe a little bit. So core is strong. The farther away your feet are, the more challenging it'll be. Lower and press. If you have a countertop or a couch, you can do it on that, depending on the level of difficulty that you would like. We're gonna do it for 30 seconds. Remember, belly button into spine to support that core, or at your own pace. So here we go, hands on the walls, and let's lower and press. Try and keep those elbows alongside the rib cage. And you're halfway. Squeezing through the chest as you press yourself out. You're feeling the triceps work as you press yourself away. Good, and we can stand up, come out of that. And we'll do another round of those, or a plank. Let's do another round of the push-ups. We did a lot of core in that core block. So we'll do another round of push-ups in 10 seconds. So if you found that really easy, where your feet were, try stepping the feet a little bit farther away. And if you need, you can come up onto the toes. Just make sure you stay a straight line through the body. You don't let those hips drop down. Here we go, 30 seconds of push-ups. Hands on the wall again. In and press out. Shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you press yourself away. Nice strong core to support that spine. Elbows alongside the rib cage. Keep them in close to the body. Almost there. And there we go. Okay, we'll come back to our chairs and we'll do our stretch to cool down. You're almost there. Okay, so we're gonna scoot forward in our chair. Take your right heel onto the floor out in front. Flex the toe back. Spine is straight. We're gonna do our 2 stages here. We're gonna hinge it forward from the hips, keeping that spine straight. Isolating the back of the leg here with this part of the stretch for 3, 2, 1. Now we can round it forward, reaching towards those toes. And we'll hold it here for another 3, 2, 1. Let's come up out of that. That leg can come in. Left heel comes onto the floor out in front, flexing the toe back. Straight spine here. Let's hinge it forward from the hips. Straight spine. We isolate the back of the leg for 3, 2, 1. Now we can round it forward, reaching towards the toes. And we'll hold for another 3, 2, 1. And then we'll come up out of that. Now we'll take both heels onto the floor out in front. So just being a little bit careful. You can be unstable in this position. So if you need, you can step your feet a little bit wider apart. Also make sure that your hips don't push the chair out from underneath you. So we're going to start with a nice straight spine. Hinge it forward from the hips. Stretching the back of both legs here as we hold for 3, 2, 1. And now we can round it forward, reaching our hands down towards those toes. You can even maybe let that forehead hang down towards the legs if that works for you. As we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now sitting up a little bit more slowly, just in case you get dizzy. And then our feet can come in. So we're gonna now take our right arm up behind our head here. You have 2 options. You can take the left hand and either pull the elbow back behind the head, or that left hand can push the elbow back from in front. So we're stretching the tricep here. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll release, and then we're gonna do the other arm. The left arm comes up, bend it behind the head there. Right hand can either pull it from behind the head or press it back from in front. Stretching the tricep on this side, we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll release the arms down. Right arm now crosses over. Left hand pulls it in towards yourself as you slide the shoulder down. If you'd like a bit more of a stretch, even some gentle pressure with that right arm into the left hand for 3, 2, 1. And we'll release. Left arm crossing it over. Right hand pulls it in towards yourself. Slide the shoulder down away from the ear. Again, if you'd like a little bit more, pressing the back of the left arm into the right hand. And we'll hold for 3, 2, 1, and then we'll release the arms down. Both hands, reaching them back behind you, or even grabbing the back of the chair, or maybe even interlacing them. Just keep reaching those hands down and back as we lift up through the chest and chin, opening up across the front of the body here for 3, 2, 1, and then we can release the arms. Let's roll the shoulders forward. And then rolling the shoulders backwards. And shoulders can stay still. Let's stretch out our neck, so sitting tall. Turning to look over the right shoulder, and we'll hold for 3, 2, 1. Turning to look over the left shoulder for 3, 2, 1. Looking straight ahead. Chin tucks down to the chest for 3, 2, 1. Looking up to the ceiling out in front of us for 3, 2, 1. Looking straight ahead. Right ear tilts over towards the right shoulder. Left hand can even reach down and away. And we'll hold for 3, 2, 1, that arm comes in, and now the left ear tilts over to the left shoulder, right arm reaches down and away, and we'll hold for 3, 2, 1, head back to the center, hands to the sides, 1 deep yoga breath. We'll sweep the arms up as we take a deep inhale in, a little more air in at the top, and then we'll exhale, squeeze it all out. And we're all finished for today. Well done. Thank you for